Before I start filming this video, this one goes all over the place. I wanted to start talking about the subject matter in the beginning, but then I start showing you things in weird parts of my house. So we kind of dig deep into cool stuff. It all has to do with the subject matter at hand, so I think you're gonna like this, and you're gonna see how messy one of my rooms is in this house. But anyway, stay till the end because there's lots of neat, weird stuff to show you in my house. All right, I'm supposed to be out there washing my car, but man, I'm all crazy about doing some videos for this fall season that's happening right before our eyes. I have a lot of important things I should be thinking about, but I cannot get... What? But I can't get horror and Halloween out of my mind. It's a constant thing that's just bouncing around every day. Sure, some of you can relate. So I want to do a video for two reasons. Number one, I want my living room back to normal. But number two, I want to take you back to the old days, back to the 80s of renting videotapes at the old video store. VHS was king for many years, way before the DVD was invented. Going to watch movies back in the day was so different than it was now. Now, if a kid is, if somebody's young now and they want to watch a movie, they look at a TV screen or a computer screen and they see little thumbnails, you know, of movies, and here we go. Hey, hi baby. It's completely different. It's all completely different than when we were kids. If you're in your 30s or 40s, 50s, 60s, however old you may be, 70s, 80s, you all remember the good old video stores. And one thing I loved, it was very special for your family. It was very special for your family to take you to go rent movies. But can I pick out one? Oh my God. You know, you'd be so excited if your family let you pick out a title. Nowadays, it's like you just sit there mindlessly clicking on things. You could watch as many as you want. If you subscribe to Netflix or whatever, and you just watch movies all night. But back in the day, we had to drive to a location, to a store, and physically look at boxes, videotape boxes on shelves. And you'd be able to take this box off the shelf. You know, the cover art was everything, because if someone wanted you to watch their movie, they wanted that cover art to be something that just grabs you, like pick this one up off the shelf and look at it, you know, or see that movie poster on the wall and go see this film. So that's what was so different about then and now. We would go in the video store and there'd be all these videotapes lined up, and you would pick them up, you'd flip them over, you'd see a little picture on the back, you know, cool cover art, pictures on the back, what? And you'd be able to read about the film, and you just have this physical thing in your hand, you know? Just like the old days of record albums, you know, sitting on the floor looking at album art. I say it time and time and time again, I'm so glad I grew up when I did, because I would hate to be in this world that kids are in now, where for a lot of reasons, but they don't have it's a whole different feel than it was when I was a kid. You got to do this right now. Huh? Not only, when you go to the video store, not only would you see videotapes, you'd see some posters on the walls, but you would also see video standees. Oh my God, I'm trying to film here. So besides going in and looking at the walls of videotapes, and of course you just look across the room, like drama, comedy, horror. Find the horror section, because that's our place, right? If you're watching this channel, I'm sure that was your spot, your favorite spot in the video store. And we're gonna look at videotapes today. I'm gonna show you kids out there that aren't very familiar with VHS, what it was all about, why it was such a huge craze. You know, so besides looking at all these amazing tapes and all the artwork on the tapes, you would see these amazing things called standees or stand-ups. You know, technical word is standee. Cardboard video store and movie theater standees, okay? Advertising the film. It was a whole different way of advertising these films than slapping a poster on the wall that a lot of people might just walk by and not look at the poster, but there's this physical thing in the room with you. There's this cardboard, you know, it's like, oh my God, it's like a giant cardboard version of that movie poster is standing there in front of me, and it grabbed you differently, okay? So these standees were definitely a form of advertising that, and this goes way back. This is not like a 70s and 80s video store thing. This goes way back to the old days of like 1930s, like King Kong. You know, there were cardboard movie standees back then. They would put these amazing cardboard things out in front of theaters, trying to attract people to the latest horror film that was playing. So this is nothing new. It was new to me as a kid because I'm like, oh, these are amazing. I would see these standees, and I started thinking to myself, I wonder if I could get one in my house. It'd be crazy to have something that's in a movie theater in my bedroom. And that's exactly what I started doing. So I was excited to start collecting all things horror and monsters as a young kid. When I was old enough to start renting my own tapes, you know, that was a big deal as a kid. Getting your own account to rent tapes. Usually you did it under your parents' name. Back then, when you were becoming a young adult, you would get your own video store card. And you're like, holy shit, I can now rent my own videotapes? This is insane. And it was all on you. You don't return them, you're gonna get those phone calls, you know. This is Rainbow Video. You've had that tape for over a week now, Rudy. You know, like, okay, I'll bring it. So it's like a coming of age type thing if you're a nerd, getting your own video store card. And I started saying, man, what if I can get these movie stand-ups? I call them stand-ups when I was a teenager, but they're standees. I would call them stand-ups when I was a teenager, but standees is the technical term. Written on the cardboard boxes these would come in. And I say, what if I can put these in my room? It'd be so cool to have something that is in a movie theater or a video store and have it in my bedroom. It'd be so different than what, you know, most of my friends are collecting, which are baseball and football cards. Like, ugh. So back then I was working in a mall. I was in a jewelry store when I was 16, working at the jewelry store. And there was a place called Rainbow Video in the mall I worked in. It was like a strip mall, big strip mall in Calumet City, Illinois, Wentworth Woods Strip Mall on 159th Street. And I would go to Rainbow Video, and the owner's name was Roger. And Roger knew I was a horror fanatic. You know, I'd constantly rent horror tapes, and he would, you know, after recognizing me all the time coming in there, we became friends. And Roger, I said, Roger, I gotta have that Chucky thing in the window. Like, he had this cool storefront window where he'd have stand-ups set up in the window, you know, like you go around and it'd be like looking at a old window, you know, an old department store window where he could set things up. Before you got in the store, you'd see stand-ups and posters and things behind these glass windows. And I'm like, oh my God, there's a Child's Play standee right there, you know? And I'd run in there. Where's Roger? He's in the back. Roger would come out like, Roger, can I buy that Chucky standee? You know, that stand-up, I would call it. You know, so that started this whole thing. Like, I started collecting stand-ups and posters, and then I learned that my video store would sell used tapes. They would start selling the VHS tapes that they would not rent anymore. When rentals would slow down, they would be just getting rid of the old tapes because they would buy like 20 or 30 copies of a movie, like Alien or something, or Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and then they would later on just sell off the copies as the rentals went down after it was not super hot anymore. Hot title. So I'm going to show you what my bedroom looked like in the late 80s. This is about 1989 or 1990, right after, right when I was about to graduate. I was still in high school at this point when my room looked like this. So check this out. Pretty crazy, huh? At the time, both my parents worked, so we had like a housekeeper help clean the house. And she would not clean my room. She would not vacuum in there. Not like I needed a lady to clean my room, but she wouldn't vacuum. She would not open the door to run the vacuum cleaner in my room. And told my mother, she was kind of nuts. And she yelled one day, "I refuse to clean a room that glorifies Satan." And my mom, I'm like, devil worshiper. Just because I love horror films does not mean I'm a devil worshiper. And no, not me. So this, I'm a crazy high school kid making fake blood all the time. And I decided that day when that lady said that, my mom's like, "Please just vacuum his room, whatever." And I said, "I'm gonna leave a little present for her." And I took a rubber hand, one of these severed hands. I put it on my wooden desk, and I shoved the knife through it real hard, and I put fake blood all over it, and then I went to school. And that's the day the lady quit. Fast forward to many, many years later, a lot of those old stand-ups in my room are long gone. I still have little counter displays and posters, of course, a massive poster collection, but I started getting back into collecting theater standees and stand-ups and video store stand-ups. Some of the theater standees are gigantic and they're just too damn big. So I don't want to ramble on too much. Those of you that were there know exactly how cool these things were. And today, they're absolutely making a comeback. The whole VHS scene is huge now. Collecting video tapes is a big thing. Collecting the standees is a big part of it. There's groups out there where people show off their theater standees and video store standees, and I've been meeting a lot of people with similar interests as me, and it's awesome. So what I'm going to do today on this video is show you what these things, I'm going to show you some of the standees in my collection. Some of these came from Frank, from the old Frankenstein. I found standees in his stuff. Let's go back to the good old days. Let's go back to the late 80s and what it would be like to go in an old video store and what you would see. It's all in my living room. Here we go. The Elviras were promotional pieces, obviously, for Coors Light, but look at that Creep Show standee. That is an original, and that is probably my favorite one in this room. These aren't going to be set up forever. They're just on display for this video right now, but that is something you're not going to see in most collections, I'm guessing. That's got to be a rare standee. The original 82 Creep Show. Check that out. Pumpkinhead. That's the countertop version. Could you imagine having the big one? I do. Here it is. I used to have 3 of these things. 1 in my bedroom set up, 2 in the boxes, brand spanking new, way back in the day. All that stuff was long gone, all my old standees. I had to find them all over again. Not all of them. I've got a nice amount of them here. So we've got 2 Elviras there. Those are Coors Light ads, you know, promotional standees with her. Hot as hell, of course. They're amazing. They're not movie, technically, but they're still awesome to have if you love Elvira, which I do. I've loved her since I opened Fangoria one day as a kid and saw her in there, and I'm like, what is that? Look at those legs. Anyway, Creep Show. This has got to be, in my opinion, my best piece. Number 1, because it is one of my top favorite films of all time. Right? Is that right? We love this movie. Yes, we do. Oh my God. It's stretching out. It's late at night, guys. I just got back from the movies, and I'm a little upset about that. The people I went with wanted to leave 10 minutes before the movie ended. Could you imagine? We went to see The Nun 2. I'm like, that's not too bad. And then, can't see the end of it. Nope, we gotta go. So here, Jason Lives. Part 6. Look at that. That is a really awesome, smaller size one. Kind of the size of a poster, but that is a cardboard standee. That's a really cool one. I don't think I've seen many of those over the years at all. Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors. Awesome. I love this one because it is cut out in the shape of Freddy's head and hat. I mean, that is just... That artwork for that poster where they're on the blades of his glove is just insanely amazing. That takes me right back seeing this stuff. And look at that Howling standee right there. That is pretty damn cool. I'm going to put the Howling Wolf in front of this and take some pictures with that gray Alvarez wolf. That's a Howling werewolf. When I did that YouTube video, I go, I can't believe I did not put that behind those wolves. Right? All right, now we're bouncing all around. Some of these shots, it's daytime, some of it's nighttime here. Gosh. Oh my God. The Thriller Video Elvira standee. That is a completely different pose than the norm for her, okay? Those are real popular standees. Probably a lot easier to get your hands on than this one. I even have the dealer like pamphlet you would get in the mail to your video store about this standee. I'll have to try to show you guys that. I got photos of it in my phone. But this one, I like this one a lot. It's got more leg. It's got more of her. You know, that's going way back to the 80s. That's got to be, you know, 84, probably. I don't know. This Clash of the Titans standee is just awesome. Don't look at my vacuum cleaner. I mean, this movie was, to a child in the 80s, this film was epic. You watch it now, you know, a lot of the scenes, like the special effects, of course, may seem hokey, but Ray Harryhausen, how can you not love everything about Clash of the Titans? And coming across, this one came from Frank, okay, that Clash of the Titans standee. Coming for the summer of 1981. That is nuts. I can't believe that's in my living room right now. Moving on. Another Freddy over there. We have an Alien. Look at that. Alien's video debut was 1980. That was the first time it was released on video cassette, VHS. So, I'm assuming that is a video store standee and not a theater standee. Get out of here! Fucking cats. Don't get me started. Well, I don't want them knocking over Elvira in the middle of the night, so let me move this and block her in a little better. There we go. So, yeah, see, some of these are, of course it says 79 because that's when the film came out, but I think this is for the VHS release. I don't know though. I don't know. It could be the theater. Let's see. No. The more I look at this has got to be a theater standee. Get out of there! Because it doesn't say like now on video or, you know, whatever video company was part of putting it on tape. That is 70 millimeter right there. See that? Dolby. Like that has got to be a theater standee. Which tells me, so is that then. That's got to be a theater standee as well, that Creep Show. It's just, I mean, that is for sure video store. That Pumpkinhead, those were absolutely in Rainbow Video when that movie was on VHS. And I brought them home straight from the video store. Those standees I got from Roger back then. So some of them are mysteries. I mean, maybe the Howling one is a theater as well. Clash of the Titans sure seems like a theater standee. I know I said this video's about VHS and video stores. Just pretend a lot of these go both ways. All right, look at that. That is a great Evil Dead mobile. I don't even know how to say that word anymore. I haven't said it since I was a kid. Mobile. And of course, hiding back here, one of my favorites. This hung over Frank's basement steps going down to his cellar for years. And I would just look up at that and I'd just smile like, oh, that's so cool. You know, Jason Lives, part 6, once again. I had so many like hanging mini standees and countertop ones that I sold over the years. Now I'm kicking myself big time. When's the last time you saw a standee for house? Like, that is crazy. This was in Frank's cellar. Stored flat, in plastic, wrapped up nicely and beautifully. You know, Frank took care of everything. This actually has a very thin paper area where the word house is. And I know it's dark in here right now, but I think a little light bulb would go in the back, like a cheap little Christmas light bulb, the fat ones. And you would light up the word house from the back. So it's kind of a crazy mess in here right now, but I got standees everywhere. There's standees in my bedroom we're going to look at. There is a Ghostbusters wrapped up in plastic still. Original Ghostbusters theater standee. 1985, I believe. Look at that. This is a massive, it's got a little bend on the top of her head. This is a massive Aliens standee. Coming July 18th to a theater near you. This is the movie promotional standee for the movie theater. You know, the coming soon one. And that is so cool. Newt. Ripley. Newt. Gun. All right, let's go in the old bedroom. Now we're in my bedroom. Woo! So, there's stuff in here that we're going to keep looking at. Like the stuff that was in the living room. This is a different day. I was shooting that stuff the other day. Pre-October. Now it's October 2nd. Actually, it's the 1st still, but tomorrow's the 2nd. Look at that. This has nothing to do with the video we're watching now. Well, it kind of does, but that is an original Australian day bill. I had this hand signed by everybody in person, right in front of my eyeballs. That was one heck of a treat. Meeting Gunner, having him sign this right before he passed away. But back to the standees. Look at these. Holy cow. I can't believe I have these in my bedroom right now, but these don't stay here. They're just set up for this video. This Elvira, Mistress of the Dark one, is absolutely a favorite. And let me move those apart a little bit. This one is quite rare. I've heard through, you know, poster and standee groups out there over the years that the Girl Scouts of America did not like them using this image on this standee, and I believe she was possibly omitted from the poster art. So this could have been like an early promotional thing, and they either yanked them. Yanked them. Elvira is one of my favorite human beings on the planet, next to Pee Wee Herman, who just passed away, unfortunately. But these are two amazing standees. There's Elvira up there. Remember her from that video last time. I still haven't had time to fix her eyes. Winter's coming, and that's when I get to sit down in the kitchen and work on all kinds of mask stuff, because it's too cold outside to do anything. I pulled that out of a movie theater in like 1990 in the back room of a movie theater. The manager's like, hey, there's some old posters back there. Go grab a couple. And I just blindly grabbed 2 posters, and that was one of them, all folded nicely. Just crazy. But that's been framed in my room for quite some time now. I'll show you. My room is a mess. Look at, he's in here. I'll show you I'll show you a couple more things in here, but I really want to take you upstairs. If you think this is a mess, you haven't seen nothing yet. We're going to go into an old office of mine that has just turned into a junk room, but there's a bunch of VHS horror tapes up there. So we're going to go look at those really quick. This just sitting in the corner, framed. Original one sheet, Friday the 13th. Beautiful. That's one of my favorite. If I had to pick favorite poster designs of all time, this is one of them. I always wanted a Friday the 13th original poster. I love this illustration. I love that the forest and all the the forest and the people are all inside the silhouette of the body. I think it's just so cool. I remember seeing that in Fangoria, and like my whole life I've loved that image, so I finally got one. All right, let's go upstairs and see some videotapes. There's just an Evil Dead framed one sheet. That is a rolled one sheet original. My buddy Billy Kirkus said he never saw a rolled Evil Dead one sheet. You do now, sucker. That's the real deal. All right, let's go upstairs. One cool thing is my office, my old office, is full of weird stuff. So let's go. Oh my God, it's embarrassing. There's stuff all over the floor. You know, I'm doing the basement, I'm working on cars, and I would just start throwing shit on the floor up here and not even enter this room for a long time. You should see what's right in front of me though. Speaking of theater standees, all in the original boxes. So we got Night of the Demons. This is the one I used to have in my bedroom in 1988. The Eyes Flash. This is sealed, never opened. Look at that. Child's Play. Possessed doll inside. Nightmare on Elm Street 4. The Dream Master. Sealed. Factory sealed standee. Behind that, Pet Cemetery. One of the best standees ever. This one opened. It was taped, but everything kept coming out. It's never been set up. Fright Night 2. I love that movie. What's that woman's name in there? She's so hot. Anyway, I'm a huge Twin Peaks fan. Those of you that don't know that, I've got a lot of rare Twin Peaks stuff around this house. This is not like how I live, okay? This is one room in the house that's a disaster, okay? The rest of the house is beautiful. Got a cleaning lady and everything. So, check this disaster out. Good grief. I can't even step in here because there's stuff blocking the door. Yeah, those are original Misfits posters. That is a really, really rare one. A real 3 Hits from Hell. Glenn Danzig silk screened that poster and handed them out at shows to promote the little 3 Hits album, which is autographed right down there. Original Halloween 7-inch autographed by Glenn and Doyle. That's a cool one. Anyway, let's get in. You're gonna see all kinds of weird quad poster, all autographed by everybody. That's a cool one. A lot of autographs hanging in here from over the years, meeting famous bands and people. Really? You had to find the Mummy up here and do that. Arrgh. So look up there. You didn't expect to see those, did you? All the Puppet Master puppets that I've purchased, all hanging out up here in the dark, just standing there, keeping guard over the room. Some of my little Misfits guys up there, and some of the old original monsters they started putting out on those cards. Was that Super 7 or the reaction figures? Vintage Halloween stuff, just hiding out in this corner. I should bring that stuff downstairs. More dudes up there. Some of this I'm not even going to show you because it's so messy. But what's this at my feet? Oh, look at this. Creepy Crawlers, Thingmaker 2. This is the one I had I used to stare at this octopus on this cover when I was a freaking kid. That's just, you know, the memories I have burned in my brain of this stuff is insane. I would love to know what year. This has to be late 70s because I was a little kid. Man, all of that, those green trays, holy cow. Now I'm kind of flipping out. We'll put that there. Here, Creeple People, Maker Pack. Get that out of our way. Creepy Crawlers, the original. I think that's the original first one. Isn't that cool? In the box. These are all full too. They have the toys in them. They're not empty boxes. Okay. Here's another one. Creepy Crawlers, Maker Pack 1. So that was like a pack with little molds you'd get. This is slightly before my time, but I remember older cousins and older, you know, you go visit some house somewhere with your family and go in the basement to play with their kids. You'd find toys from the 60s, you know, hanging out from the older kids. I was born in 72, so look at this though. The big one, man. The Vacuum Maker. Oh, Vacuum Maker. You know, I've had these for a while. I wanted one of each. I wanted one nice, you know, beautiful box of each of these toys. This whole room needs to be redone better to display shit better. There's a giant pinup. Some old part of my DVD collection. All right, we're here to look at VHS tapes though, okay? We got there's a good guy doll. Oh, these boxes? Of course. We're gonna do an entire episode on these boxes here. Complete run of vintage Famous Monster magazines from #1 up, and a shitload of Fangoria magazines. All beautiful. All right, now, there's monster models everywhere. You probably could have guessed I had a room in my house kind of like this, just crazy full of junk and, hey, a mess. Monster magazines stacked up in this closet. I have to go through, I've got boxes of monster comic books in there, but that's not what we're here to look at. We are here to look at this stuff. Oh my God. All right, guys. So now, and this isn't going to be a 12-hour video going over every one of my titles, but I want to show you just some favorites. And, you know, you'd go to a video store and you'd pick up the movie off the shelf and you'd be able to hold it in your hand and look at it. And that was so damn cool. And I would get upset when I would like take it up to the counter, or lots of them had little tags. You take the little tag up to the counter, then they give you just a tape without the nice cover, the slip cover, okay? And it'd be like in a clear plastic box, you know, for protection. But you wouldn't get to take this home 9 times out of 10. They wouldn't give you the nice covers. One thing about the VHS tapes here in this humble little collection of mine is they are all absolutely gorgeous and mint condition. There's Videodrome, we were just looking at down there. These are all original old school tapes. Let's take a look here. Let's just go down slowly. Frankenhooker, that's a good one. That's a desirable VHS tape. That's such a, man, I remember renting that. The old tape talked on the shelf. That one's not the talking version. Look at The Brood. Who remembers this one, huh? Look at that, isn't that cool? And the cool part about VHS was the intros. Before the movie started, you'd see a little animation come down with the video company's logo and some cool 80s little, you know, synth music. And that's what so many VHS collectors and just old school horror fanatics love so much. That little jingle you'd see before the movie starts with the, you know, like RCA had their own. Look at Wizard Video. Who remembers Wizard Video? If you read Fangoria, you remember Wizard Video. This movie happens to be one of my favorite movies of all time, Psycho's in Love. I finally scored a really nice, clean copy of this crazy movie. My buddy and I rented this when we were teenagers. We're like, this looks crazy. We laughed our asses off. You want to watch something funny and just so old school schlock horror, rent this movie. It is hilarious. Shockwaves. Look at that. Old Shockwaves. Deranged. This one's still sealed. Look at that. So cool. And my old bedroom, I used to have all the Friday the 13th tapes lined up. All bought at Rainbow Video. Roger would sell me nice, clean copies of them when they were all done, you know, being rented. Parents. I used to have the Parents countertop little standee and the fridge would open. I just sold it like 2 years ago. What was I thinking? Oh, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. Pumpkinhead. Maniac. One cool part about old VHS tapes were the clamshell cases. Look at this. Remember the big giant case called clamshell, okay? But this stuff is just, this takes me right back. Look at that creep show clamshell. This takes me right back to being a kid and a teenager and going to the video store. Thank goodness my parents were renting horror flicks, you know, back then. As soon as they were, get out of there! Hey! Hey! Out! 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 Come on! Come on! Go with your brother. Jesus, you gotta walk on magazines? Come on. Where the hell was I? Hellraiser. Oh my god, I used to watch this like every damn day. Love it. So, had to show you, look at Wizard Video, copy of Zombie from Wizard Video. I had to come up here and show you some of the tapes I've got and some of the clamshells, which just, they're so retro and awesome. And oh my god, do you know this film? This movie, go watch this movie if you can find it. And I want to see in the comments, those of you that watch this, and or if you remember watching it, when the kid had the bionic arm and he was whipping the dynamite. Funniest shit. I mean, my dad and I laughed when I was a kid. We would laugh over and over at that kid whipping that dynamite real fast. They'd speed up the film. Just a horrible Road Warrior, Mad Max ripoff. But Thorn Emmy Video, that'll have the cool intro, you know, before the film that like I was talking about. And I made, so my little jingle, my Rudy's World with little music, Mikey Seaver made that for me. He's really good with all kinds of, you know, computer shit. And I said, Mikey, I want this 80s VHS little jingle. I want a little animation, you know, with the car and the skull and just like this kind of stuff. Like, because it was so important to me, you know, growing up. And he did a great job. And that little jingle is here to stay for quite some time. Maybe he'll do another one when I become real famous one day. One of the greatest, here's one of the greatest films ever made. Kentucky Fried Movie. Huh? So, basket case. Oh, and my Frankenhooker for you VHS collectors out there. It's perfect. Perfect condition. But not the talking box. I have 3 VCRs still, but I need to get an old TV to hook them up to. I need to get the old tube TV to get the full effect, you know. I could play these on my Pioneer Elite Plasmas or my OLED, you know, 4K TV, but that's not the same. Like, why even put a VHS tape on if you're going to be watching it on a 4K TV? That defeats the whole purpose. You know, I want that little glass tube, shitty quality lines, tracking problems, you know, I want it all. I was planning on making a VHS wall somehow, somewhere in this room that I'm in. Once I clean all this bullshit out of here, I wanted to make one section of a wall to make it look like the horror wall in a VHS video store, okay? It's funny, when I was a kid, my dad would take me to the video store. I'd say, I'm gonna go over there and look at the comedy. I mean, where did my dad go? He's gone. And of course, I'm looking through that beaded curtain at the adult titles. Like, oh my god. Oh, I wish I could rent those. But that's a story for another day, isn't it? So, I hope you guys liked seeing my crazy, messy, old office room in my home here, which is it's insane. We could go through boxes of stuff all night. Look at, I got more Haunted Mansion models in boxes in here. Okay, I just want to show you how cool it can be digging around in my home. Okay, look at original 70s witch model, unbuilt. This, look at this, guys. This is a whole box full of original 70s Aurora prehistoric scenes model kits. All the dinosaurs, unbuilt, just brand new in the boxes. Now let's take a quick look in the closet here. Look at, there's just tons of old monster comics stacked up. This, oh my god. I'm going to do a whole video on this toy. I can't believe I never thought of this until right now. This was my favorite toy as a kid, and I scored a mint one in the box. And those of you that know, you know. If you don't know, you're gonna know. That's a whole other video. So these are just extra Fangos. I've got the Fangorias I would read as a kid. Still, every issue, saved them all. Oh man, I got 8-ball comics. I got so much fun stuff here. I used to collect Mad magazines. I had tons of Mads, really old ones too, like issue 3, 4, 5. This just, you know, I've got so much shit. It's insane. That's why I said, you know what? I need to start clearing crap out of my life. Thank you for taking the time to go through this messy room with me. And about the whole 31 days of Halloween masks, I noticed in the first video that went on YouTube yesterday morning, I didn't say, like, we're doing the 31 days of Halloween. I just said, here's day 1, because, look at that, it's original from the carnival. I am so busy, I don't know if I can pull it off. I'm going to do my best to produce a video every day I can for the month of October. I do not want to let you guys down. So please understand, I have a lot going on this month. It's just, you know, it's a very busy time for me. I don't even know what, look at this. Here's a box filled with Aurora monster models. There's big boxes down in storage filled with Aurora monster models. Look at, just shit everywhere. Famous monsters, Fangos. I can't believe I showed you this room. That's so funny. Like I can't even get out of it. Look at this. I took these from the video store in the 80s. I used to have a stack like this. These bumper stickers. And I've got a good amount. Sometimes I'll send these out when people buy something from me. I'll throw one of these in the box. They're originals, you know. They're so cool. I had so many. But like, why do I need that many? Why do I have to keep all this shit, you know? It's like, while we're up here, I want to show you something really neat that's going to fit right in with this video. Instead of going back downstairs, I'm going to sit right here. Because I've got this little box here, okay? This, my friends, is cool. This totally fits in with everything I just showed you, okay? I found this box at Hobby Lobby. They sell these little boxes. These are for 4x6 photographs, okay? You can keep your prints in here. I just found it a really cool way to keep little horror-related items nicely, you know, all different types of items, as you'll see in a second, in these little bins. And I could take them out and look at them. Let's say, for instance, this bin. So check this out. Now I want you to know these are all original buttons. These are all original 80s buttons from Frank's collection. Frank collected every one of these by hand back in the day. Look at Rocky Horror, Day of the Dead. You can tell they're old 80s. You know, look at Basket Case 2. So awesome. Phantasm 2. That's new, but this is an original old button. Fly 2. War of the Worlds. Another Phantasm 2 button. I cannot wait to tell you. I can't wait to show you the video on his collection and tell you exactly how many things he had. Look at this. I'm assuming these black and white buttons, Frank could have went and got these when he would go to the Chiller Theater convention in the 80s. I'm guessing people handmade certain buttons, but a lot of these other ones are real promotional. Oh great, look who's here. What do you want? I guarantee it. So, mask tags, distortions, non-post mask tags. You know, I'm just keeping all these cool things that are thrown all over, little items, nicely put away. Look at more Day of the Dead, Famous Monsters buttons, Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Nightmare on Elm Street. Look at that. Famous Monsters Fan Club. Just great old. Look at old Elvira button. These are so cool, and I don't remember these. So these postcards here, I believe these postcards here you were able to purchase through Fangoria. There's a stack of original postcards here. These weird yeah, look at Fangoria, a Fangoria postcard. So there's a whole group. I don't think these movie, yeah, I guess those are too. These movie poster ones are also Fango. But they're, look at, oh my God. If you read Fangoria, good old Herschel Gordon Lewis, Blood Feast. Isn't that cool? These are old, mint condition Fangoria postcards. There's a bunch of them. They're just cool. I've never seen these before. It must have been, it could have been a fan club thing, you know? I don't know. But I got them, I found them in Frank's, and I'm like, these are so cool. I gotta just keep them in this box so I can take them out and enjoy them once in a while. Besides that, Frank had hundreds of other postcards. I can't believe what one man accomplished in his life as a collector. It blows my mind. It blows his brother's mind. Still, one of the coolest things is this last box. And we're going to end this video soon because I could just go on all night talking about this stuff. Did I bore you to death? Look at him. He's sleeping. He's sleeping right next to me. Oh, hey, buddy. Hey, Midnight. You're a good boy. Tell everybody, yes, I yell at you on camera, but you and I, you're my babies. Out. This is some cool stuff. Look at that. That's a real, look at sparkly foil decal sticker. This one doesn't have a date. This is from Madrid, Spain. How cool is that? Here's another one. These have to be kind of rare. See the sparkly glitter on the sticker on that bat? Battery's getting low. I got to get to the good stuff. Here you go, guys. Woo! Who remembers going to the sticker machine, putting 50 cents in, pulling that cardboard sleeve out, and getting amazing foil stickers? Do you guys have any of these? These are so awesome. Look at, God, this is, when I was a kid, foil stickers were the shit. Remember the cool skull and crossbones you'd get? God, they were so awesome. These are just awesome. This is just the coolest shit ever. How can you not keep these, you know? I would love to frame them or something eventually someday, but at least I can take them out here and look at them once in a while, you know? All right, we gotta end this video somehow, right? Guys, I can't thank you enough for watching this channel, subscribing, following, watching my channel. It really does mean a lot. And I know there's gonna be a lot of you out there that love all of this stuff. If you're my age, close to my age, 10 years younger than me, you're gonna remember it anyway. You're gonna remember all this cool stuff. And you know, how could you not? How does this not take you back in time? So tomorrow I will work on another mask video. Like I said, I'm doing my best to produce videos every day for October, whether it's masks, posters, horror memorabilia, whatever I can dig up. We're gonna do it. Oh, there's a couple pieces over here I forgot to show you. I have to put this back together, but that's an original Fright Night. This one hung from the ceiling. Bride and Fright Night. It looks like a big VHS tape, you know. Here's the Aliens one. Here's the Aliens. These would hang from the ceiling of a video store. They look like giant VHS boxes. This is the one for Aliens. Again, thank you everybody. I hope this was of interest to some of you out there. If not, I'm gonna squirt goop in your eye. Do you collect theater standees? Do you collect VHS tapes? Let me hear about it in the comments. And if I ever get to cleaning that room upstairs over winter, I am gonna do a 80s VHS tape display. All my 80s horror. Maybe a little horror sign over the top, just like the old video store. But for now, we're gonna be back to talking about masks tomorrow, and there's some really, really rare stuff coming up as far as masks. We're gonna start digging into the old Halloween Society. No better time than now, right? October. So thanks again, and I'll see you tomorrow.